Hello everyone, it's Callum from Cagefront here. Welcome back to the channel, and if you are new here, welcome to the channel. It's that time of the year again. It is International Fight Week. We have UFC 317 coming up this weekend, which is headlined by Ilia Topuria moving up from featherweight to take on the former champion Charles Oliveira for the undisputed and now vacated lightweight championship thanks to Islam Makhachev moving up. And then in the co-main event, we have got Alexandre Pantoja versus Kai Kara-France, which I'm sure is going to go a million miles an hour, as well as Brandon Royval taking on Joshua Van, who is coming up from UFC 316 to UFC 317. This kid is just not stopping. And then we've got some other fantastic matchups through the card. We've got great matchmaking from the UFC. I think they've done a fantastic job with this card overall. We have got Payton Talbott versus Felipe Lima to kick off the main card. And we've got so many other great matchups on this card. And we've got Money Moicano, of course, in there against Beneil Dariush. So I am very keen for this card. Let's not waste any more time. Let's get into it from the top. From the top, we of course have Ilia Topuria and Charles for the main event. Now this, I have spoken all about this matchup in my hot take video, which is much more in-depth, much more at length. So I highly recommend you check that hot take video out before UFC 317. But looking at this matchup now, I have to go with Ilia Topuria here. I've got him via KO in the first round. And the reason for that and why I am very confident in that is for a number of reasons. Ilia Topuria moving up, I mean, his weight translation has looked fantastic. He is a very heavy forward pressure fighter. He's got great long boxing combinations that we've seen. Has a very low center of gravity as well, has a very wide base. Gonna make it very hard for Charles to try and take him down. Charles is not taking Ilia Topuria down unless he hurts him. And Charles Oliveira, the big issue with him is the strike defense. His strike defense is not great. When Charles is pressing on the front foot, he is very effective. He's got very good teeps. He's got very good, everything, to be honest. His Muay Thai is just fantastic, whether it's at long range or in the clinch range as well. So he does have chances here. Charles Oliveira, without a doubt, does have a chance here. If he can overwhelm Ilia Topuria, put Topuria on the back foot, then he's definitely got a chance to take Topuria out. Because Charles, he's taken Chandler out, he's taken Gaethje out, and they were some mean finishes in those fights. And Charles, so we know he's got the power there. And if Ilia's on that back foot, he's not the best at countering. Granted, he countered Josh Emmett very effectively, but Josh Emmett was just throwing telegraphed overhands. So Charles Oliveira, he mixes up his tools so much better than Josh Emmett. So Charles has the chance there, but is Topuria really going to let Charles just press him on the front foot? He's realistically just not going to do that. And the moment that Ilia Topuria breaks through that guard, just cuts off Charles's rhythm and puts him on the back foot, Charles doesn't have the strike defense to deal with Ilia Topuria's long combinations. I think Ilia absolutely rips Charles's body with a beautiful hook to the body and then comes over the top, lands a clean shot, drops him, and then ground and pounds him out in that first round. I think the moment that Ilia is effectively pressing Charles, Charles is done, because Charles doesn't have that strike defense like Volkanovski and like Holloway. He doesn't have that good of footwork like those two to last that long. And that's where I just don't see Charles really be able to just stop those long combinations from Ilia if he is pressed on the back foot. And Ilia is confident that he's getting this first round finish, and I'm confident that he is as well, to be honest. I think, look, if it gets to the ground, Charles definitely has a better opportunity there. But with Ilia Topuria's weight translation and how much stronger he looks, that is going to translate so well to top control. And honestly, Ilia Topuria, if he's in top half with that weight on top of Charles, I think that Ilia can just pound him out anyway. So there's definitely the chance there. Or Ilia could obviously try and make a statement and try submit Charles, which is the worst thing he could probably do in terms of risk. But I mean, he is very, very good, very powerful, very strong. We all know that. It's a reason why he's undefeated. Charles is definitely absolutely no joke though. And if for Charles to win this fight, a huge amount of teeps up the middle, mixing up the strikes to at least even out the pressure of Ilia. He just can't be placed on the back foot, but it just takes one shot from Ilia to put Charles on the back foot, and we've seen it in countless fights. Literally, 5 out of the 7 of his last fights that he's had since he won the title, he has been hurt, he has been backed up. Granted, he's won most of those, but I mean, if someone's able to capitalize on the ground, even like Islam Makhachev was when he hurt Charles is done, because when Charles gets hurt, he pulls guard. And Ilia Topuria does not care. He will go down there, out transition a hurt Charles Oliveira, and ground and pound him out or submit him. Ilia's ultimately just got more tools here, to be honest. He's got more tools, and hopefully with Ilia winning this fight, we could get the super fight with Islam, depending on the JDM fight. Still don't know about that one yet, but I've got to give Ilia Topuria my finish of the night award here. Pretty plain and simple, honestly. If he's getting the finish within the first round, which I am confident that he can, yeah, he's stealing the show here. Now, moving down to the co-main event of Alexandre Pantoja versus Kai Kara-France for the Flyweight Championship. This is a great fight, and in terms of that confidence that I had with Ilia Topuria winning, this one, the complete opposite. I am definitely not confident about my pick within this, because I think this is going to be so damn close. And honestly, this is just going to be an absolute volume-filled fucking barn burner. I'm so keen for this fight. Honestly, I think Flyweight is honestly in the top 3 divisions at the moment. Every fight just fucking cooks, and this is going to cook. The next fight we're going to go into with Royval and Van is going to be insane. And this matchup, though, focusing on this one, I love Pantoja and Kai Kara-France so much. Like, these guys, it's really going to hurt for me regardless of the outcome. I really just hope neither of them gets finished, to be honest, because I really respect Pantoja's origins and how he's made it through his personal life and being one of the best champions and most underrated champions ever, and then Kai Kara-France being the first flyweight I really ever watched, and him being from Anzac as well. So it's definitely it's just hard to go for one of them, to be honest. It really is hard, but I gotta pick one. And honestly, I do believe it's going to be the most dangerous fight for Pantoja in his career so far, especially with the KO threat that Kai Kara-France possesses, because Kai has extremely nice overhands, really nice overhands, times them extremely well. We saw him absolutely floor Steve Erceg with that overhand in Perth, and he's got the hand speed and technical ability when he forward pressures as well. So extremely dangerous there. Now, statistically, both of these guys have even volume, but Pantoja is actually more accurate with his strikings, and he's more like wild. He's more wild with his like looping shots, really good at punishing the body with nice hooks as well, really good at mixing up downstairs to upstairs, and he also uses nice leg kicks as well, which Kai does too. I just think Kai is obviously more renowned as this technical kickboxer compared to Pantoja, who has honestly such a great grinder grappling based style, but his striking is extremely underrated. But that being said, Pantoja seriously has to be careful. Granted, he's durable as hell, but that overhand honestly is so dangerous from Kai, and Kai's got the 2-inch reach advantage here as well, which is definitely something that needs to be noted, especially with an extended overhand. Now, if Pantoja cannot get Kai down, if he can't get him down, then it's Kai's fight to win, but it's not going to be that easy for Kai just breaking through Pantoja's striking and that wall that he has. Because Pantoja, granted, he absorbs a fair bit, but absorption rates are pretty high regardless across flyweight because of how nuts that volume is. And Pantoja genuinely does have a pretty nice tight guard. I know from their first fight, granted, they've both improved leaps and bounds, but Pantoja was really just blocking a lot of Kai's shots in that fight and then just grinding him out to win that decision on The Ultimate Fighter. But I think for Kai, if he is realistically going to win this, man, he needs to time Pantoja's striking to perfection. As well as obviously keeping the takedown defense absolutely crystal clear, flawless. If he can do that, he's definitely got a good chance of winning here, and is a decent underdog pick if he's still a 3-1 dog when this does come through. But Pantoja, the thing I do really like about him, and the thing that he uses very early to break striking rhythm, is his leg kicks. He really pumps leg kicks early, which is a very nice thing that he does, especially against Steve Erceg, to break that striking rhythm, to break that posture. But stylistically, from striker to striker, Pantoja has to be so careful of trying to break Kai's striking rhythm because of the leg kicks. If he's throwing a leg kick, usually most of the time, if you're throwing an outside leg kick, your hands are kind of drifting away because you're reaching over to get a lot of power on that kick. If he's doing that and Kai times the overhand, he could knock Pantoja out here. I will not be surprised. That is like the most crystal clear avenue I can see for a knockout for Kai Kara-France, to be honest, because I think ultimately if he's going to take him out, that's the way it's going to happen. But I do believe, I will say, that Kai can stop most of Pantoja's takedowns. Kai's got like a 90% takedown defense, looked fantastic against Albazi, fucking robbed. And he's looked fantastic in pretty much all of his other fights. The statistics really just account for that and how many takedowns he's actually stuffed. But that's not the problem here, I don't believe. I think a big thing that's going to be missing in terms of what Kai is going to have to adjust to is not the fact of Pantoja taking him down. The problem that Kai is going to have in this fight is the weight that Pantoja is going to use against him against the cage, because Pantoja is so good at riding positions along the cage and basically chain wrestling through that. That's where he just grinds out his opponent. And ultimately, it's going to be a battle of Pantoja's cardio, because we did see him slow down a fair bit in the Brandon Moreno fight in that third round, as well as the Erceg fight in the third round. So if Pantoja's slowing down and Kai's fresh, Kai's got a humongous chance there to take Pantoja out. But it's really a battle of Pantoja's cardio versus Kai's consistent takedown defense, really. And if Pantoja is not able to get him down, or at least grind him against the cage, I am worried for him. But Pantoja's just got that dog in him, man. Pantoja's got that dog in him. He brawls from extremely odd angles, is successful with his strike accuracy, but his level changes are just so unbelievably good, especially setting them up after his long combinations. He usually uses like 2 strikes to the body, gets a shot upstairs on the head, and then just goes spears straight through for a bloody double leg. And he is very successful within that. I think it's going to be the hardest fighter to go against in doing that against Kai, because Kai does pretty much have the best takedown defense in this whole division. But Pantoja's just got so many tools there. He's so experienced. He's proven, honestly. I think realistically, I think that Pantoja, especially through grinding out Kai, because he's going to want to try and chop down Kai's cardio as best as he can. I think he's going to use effective leg kicks in the first and second round. I think he's also going to use that cage pressure extremely well to just draw out Kai's gas tank and try and at least level it or drop it further than Pantoja's through the first and second. Pantoja is going to take those first 2 rounds. Then I think the third and the fourth rounds, I think the third round is going to be such a swing. I think it's going to be such a swing, because if Pantoja is lacking in that cardio, then Kai is just really going to find those good shots in there. And I think he could outwork Pantoja on volume. But then if Pantoja's cardio is fine, he can just do the same thing from the second to the third round. So it's going to be a very big sway there, I do believe, in that third round. And then I think in the fourth round, I think that Kai is really going to land the better shots there. I think that's going to be Kai's like best round. He's really going to start dogging it out through the fourth and through to the fifth. But I think the fifth is going to be more difficult, because Pantoja, a thing that I've noticed with him, is that through these championship fights, the guy always catches a second wind. He always catches a second wind into those championship rounds because he always just dogs it out, grinds out the opposition, durable as hell. And I mean, if he's getting Kai down consistently from the start, I will say, yes, I said Kai can, knock Pantoja out if Pantoja isn't able to take him down. But if Pantoja is able to take Kai down and break out through that bloody takedown defense, Pantoja can submit Kai. There's a humongous chance there. Pantoja, I mean, look what he did against Kai Asakura. Absolutely destroyed him and then got that rear naked choke. So there is offensive chances from both of them here, but I think Pantoja, just with that experience, his brawler-based style with that strike accuracy and the tools that he has as an MMA fighter compared to Kai as a kickboxer with great takedown defense, I think Pantoja has just got more avenues to win here, but I think volume versus control, this is going to be an extremely close fight. The hardest one Pantoja has ever had to go through, and I do believe he's going to get the split decision win here. First and second round, third round sway, fourth round to Kai, and then fifth round is honestly going to be a sway as well, but I think it's going to be a 48-47 for Pantoja. Going to be a fucking barn burner. I'm keen as for this one, but it's going to be extremely tough for the both of them. Now moving down the card to another flyweight banger, we got Brandon Royval versus Joshua Van. This is a fucking crazy fight, and I'm very keen for it because Royval, he's been waiting a long while to get his next fight because he's the #1 contender. I mean, he's had Manel Cap drop out, and look, credit to Joshua Van in that sense. Literally fighting on UFC 316 with an incredible performance over Bruno Silva. His striking was so ridiculously slick, and we know he's improving with every single fight. But Brandon Royval is not Bruno Silva, man. Like, Royval, honestly, he is a gamer. He looked absolutely incredible in his fight against Tatsuro Taira late last year. One of the best performances I saw last year. And he just had such great timing on his strikes. He had beautiful takedown entries and control time as well. His transitions were ridiculous. And I'm sorry, but if Royval is coming out like that against Taira and comes out like that against Van and gets him to the ground, Van is going to struggle a lot. He is going to struggle a lot here. And Van has got well-deserved hype here. I mean, especially with all like the activity that he's had, and I mean just him always pushing forward. He's always pushing forward. He's got beautiful striking, and honestly, I can see Van potentially outstriking Royval here, but Royval, you got to remember, the guy has got a massive reach advantage here, has really nice straight strikes, 5.5 inches, really nice straight strikes, really nice timing on his strikes. I highly recommend you watch his fight against Tatsuro Taira and his fight against Brandon Moreno as well. He is honestly extremely underrated. Not a super big fan of his persona, but the guy can damn fight, honestly. And I will say, like, if Van can keep this on the feet, he's got a clear chance to win this on volume, realistically. I mean, he does have it there. He can throw those long combinations effectively, especially if he can effectively get inside the range of Royval, then he could find success. But I honestly just don't understand why Joshua Van is the favorite here. I don't think he should be. I think that's a bit ridiculous. I know it's swayed into Van's favor now recently, but Royval has got 9 years of experience over Van in his prime, has got that reach advantage, and works out of southpaw. So he's got the liver kicks there, and the straight shots are going to work wonders with that strike speed as well, especially having that reach. That reach difference is just nuts. And ultimately, as well, the biggest elephant in the room is Royval's grappling pedigree there. Royval's grappling, especially against Taira transitionally, it's just so good. And if he's bringing that, I just don't think Van has much of a chance on the ground, to be honest. I think Van could stand a pretty good chance in the first round while he's more so fresh to stop the takedown attempts there. But I think the biggest killer here with Royval against really anyone is Royval's timing. Royval's timing is the best part of his game. And don't forget, Royval has literally prepared for another striker who is arguably more dangerous in Manel Cap. And Van, yes, it's great that he's coming back in from 316, but that takes a toll on his body. He's literally in a 3-week camp. He still ate some shots from Bruno Silva. He hasn't fully recovered, and I honestly just can't go against Royval to the point where I can see Royval honestly getting a 2nd or 3rd round submission here to take Van out. I think Van is fantastic, but this is just too high a leap for him in this matchup, and that means I've got to give Brandon Royval the upset of the night award if he is taking this fight on underdog money. I just can't see why that he should be an I just can't see why he is an underdog, to be honest. Realistically, he is so proven. I know Josh Van's got a lot of hype on him, and he does have a chance to win this fight early if he's really getting that striking going, but Royval's got the tools everywhere, and I believe that he's going to get this done by a rear naked choke or possibly some form of DAS. Now, moving down the card to Beneil Dariush versus Renato Moicano. Now, this could easily just be a pick'em fight. I know, obviously, this was supposed to happen at UFC 311, but I will say, I mean, nothing's really changed from then, even though Moicano lost to Islam in a matter of seconds. But, yeah, these guys, stylistically, very interesting fight, because I honestly think it should be dead even. Both of them are extremely adept on the ground, as we know. They're both the same age, both got pretty much the same reach, the same height, they got similar styles. Both of them have basically got the same takedown averages, accuracies, and submission attempts as well, and both have fought great opposition, and both fight out of great gyms. We got Beneil Dariush out of King's MMA, and then Renato Moicano out of American Top Team. So it's pretty hard to discern the both of them. That's pretty obvious from what I said, but I've got to say, I'll say that Dariush has a higher likelihood of using that one-hit KO power. I think that he's got a good chance of taking Moicano out, especially with his just weird looping kind of untelegraphed shots. But Moicano, man, the guy has just got that absolute dog in him. He really does. And like, honestly, I'm pretty confident that both of these guys are going to cancel each other out on the ground. So if it's on the feet, I mean, look, Beneil Dariush, I think he's the one that could get the KO finish here pretty effectively when it comes to just one hit. But I can't look past freaking Money Moicano against Benoit Saint Denis, 10-8ing him in the first round. And that's Moicano going up against another southpaw like Beneil Dariush in Benoit Saint Denis. And I mean, if he's having that much success against a southpaw like that, timing his striking, I think that Moicano is going to win this fight. I think he's going to be able to, like, honestly win it on volume. But if he gets going from the get-go, I think that he's going to take Beneil Dariush out in the 2nd or 3rd round. I think it's going to be a split decision, especially if there's any form of grappling intertwined in this fight. I think that both of these guys are just going to be playing chess the whole entire time. There's going to be some nice shots on the feet, some really awkward ones. But yeah, ultimately, I think Moicano is going to get the split, because I think Beneil, when it comes to his ground game transitions, he is definitely good, very underrated, very dangerous there. And I think that he's going to land the more impactful shots in this fight. But I think Moicano, with the volume overall, I think that he is just going to be able to take this fight by a split decision to get the nod here. Now, moving down the card, we've got Payton Talbott versus Felipe Lima. Two very hot prospects in the UFC at the moment. But you got to admit, this is a bad decision. This is bad matchmaking from the UFC. I think they did a good job on this card overall with their matchmaking, but this is just not it, to be honest. Pitting two of the top prospects against each other like this at this point in their careers is only going to garner a loss for future stock for the UFC pretty much immediately as one of these guys loses. And because you got Talbot, granted he lost his last fight to Raoni Barcelos, but he's still a hot prospect on the feet. If he can really tighten up that takedown defense and that grappling on the ground, he is so dangerous. But you got to look and see, just honestly, the contrast is ridiculous, because Payton Talbot was over a minus 1,000 favorite in his fight against Raoni Barcelos, and is now coming in as an almost plus 150 underdog here against Felipe Lima. And honestly, as crazy as that contrast is, I completely agree with it, because Felipe Lima is honestly the hottest prospect in the lower weight classes outside of those rankings, without a doubt. He is on a 14-fight win streak at the moment, and he has fought in the UFC outside of his natural weight class. He's dominated Miles Johns, and he's taken out Muhammad Naimov in his debut, who was literally on the brink of being a top 15 fighter. He's taken them both out with ease because he has got offensive threats absolutely everywhere. He's got really dynamic striking. He mixes combinations very well. He's got really nice feints on the front foot. He throws really nice flying knees. He's got really nice jab, three-piece combinations. He presses forward effectively. He circles outside effectively when he's getting pressured. He's got really nice uppercuts, like Alexander Gustafsson style kind of power uppercuts. And most importantly in this matchup is his grappling overall. So he's got all the offensive threats on the feet, but man, this guy taking guys down, he's got really good timing on his takedowns. He's got fantastic outside trips as well, which was just causing Miles Johns so many issues. And that against a Payton Talbott that we saw get just exposed against Raoni Barcelos, that's why I completely understand why Felipe Lima is the favorite here. He's just an extremely well-rounded prospect, and also when he's on the ground, he's got this really good transitional capabilities and the speed, but he's also very strong when it comes to controlling in positions, similar to the way Pantoja is very good at controlling and kind of chaining his wrestling together. That's what Felipe Lima does well as well. And if he's having his way from the way we've seen it literally in every single fight he's been in, except for the first fight of his career, I think he's not only winning this fight, I think he is winning this fight by a submission. I think the wrestling pedigree in contrast is just so good, and he is really showing that offensive threat on the ground. If he is able to take down someone that is as strong as Naimov and then submit him, I think he can definitely do the same thing to Payton Talbott. Payton Talbott, don't get me wrong though, the guy is a very hot prospect for a reason. He's very calm, very composed on the feet, and he has got some damn power in his hands, but he can only use it if he stays standing, and I don't think Felipe Lima is going to let that happen, because granted, Lima isn't going to be as strong necessarily coming down to bantamweight, but he is just going to be as, if not more, quick. And getting those takedown entries, he's just got to get it to the ground. And I believe that he definitely can do it. Because remember, he's 5'6", he's got a lower center of gravity, can really drive for those takedowns. And that's where I think Talbott is seriously going to struggle, to the point where I think Lima is going to find a submission within about the second or third round against Talbott here. Talbott got into situations against Barcelos where he was close to being submitted. For Lima, if Lima is having that same success, he will submit Payton Talbott. I'm very, very confident in that. And I'm so confident that I believe Lima is honestly going to be able to hunt that submission when Talbott is trying to transition and frame to get back to the feet. I think he's going to cinch in like a rear naked choke or some form of Darce choke or something there. And I think it's just going to be to that point where I'm going to give Felipe Lima the performance of the night award here. I just think that he is a fantastic fighter. Honestly, one of the most entertaining in bantamweight or featherweight. He is just ridiculous. And Payton Talbott, honestly, not the greatest fight to bounce back from that loss from, and I think we're just going to see that here. Now moving down to Jack the Joker Hermansson versus Gregory Robocop Rodrigues. Now starting with Jack Hermansson, we haven't seen this guy in over a year, like a year and a half, since he beat Joe Pyfer very impressively, but now is somehow not ranked. Don't know how the fuck that is happening. I mean, look, they keep Brian Ortega in the top 5 for like 3 years without having a single fight, but then Jack wins his fight against a hot prospect and gets taken outside of the rankings. So I do not understand why the hell they've done that. I think it's huge disrespect to Jack Hermansson, and this fight is going to be extremely close. But I believe Jack Hermansson is going to prove even more so why he shouldn't have been taken out of the rankings, to be honest. He is an underdog here, and I can understand to an extent why. Gregory Rodrigues is just that power striker, very heavy, like heavy hitter. We saw what he did against Jared Cannonier in the early rounds. But I think the Jared Cannonier fight mentally is going to actually play against him in this fight against Jack Hermansson, because I think RoboCop is going to pace himself more so in that first round, because he pretty much gassed himself in that first round. Then through to the second, through to the third, Jared Cannonier was just brutalizing him. And that's where Jack Hermansson, I mean, if Gregory Rodrigues is not getting Jack Hermansson out of there in the first round, I think that Jack Hermansson's wrestling and his overall MMA game that is just much tighter than Gregory Rodrigues's, I think that Jack is just going to drown him out, to be honest. So it's either, realistically, it's Gregory Rodrigues knocking Jack Hermansson out in the first round, or it's Jack Hermansson being able to out-wrestle, out-strike, and just pressure him backwards to the point he grinds him out and gets a decision. And that's where I think Jack Hermansson is going to be able to do that. It's definitely a tricky one, because Gregory Rodrigues could easily just come out there, overwhelm Hermansson, pop him on the back foot, and just chin him. There is definitely that chance, but as an actual fighter in terms of skill sets, I do think Jack Hermansson is the better fighter here. And I feel like if he is carrying that through from the first round, which I think he can, then I think that he is going to be able to win this 29-28 here. I think RoboCop still takes the first round when it comes to actual damage, but I think Hermansson, when it comes to his boxing style, that reach advantage as well, him pressuring on the front foot against a tired Gregory Rodrigues, I think that Jack Hermansson's going to find a lot of success here through the second to the third round, really drowning him out late with the takedowns as well. So I've got to take the Joker here. Moving down the card to Hyder Amil versus Jose Miguel Delgado. Now this is definitely a fun fight. Honestly, I'm very keen for this one, but honestly, probably one of, if not the hardest fight to predict on this card, probably around like the co-main event as well, because both of these guys fight at such an insane pace. They both land more than 5 significant strikes per minute. And when we look at Hyder Amil, he's super dangerous in the first round. And he's had more experience, like higher level experience. But I think that he does have to get this done in the first round, because Delgado's wrestling, that offensive wrestling he has, is the key here. He's really good with the timing on his takedowns. And Hyder Amil, like, he's been exciting so far in his career, and he's very dangerous with his flurries. But going against someone that can match his output and can utilize strong wrestling to draw out a gas tank, that makes Delgado a serious problem here. And Delgado is a very hot prospect. He's got good striking, great ground transitions. He's got ground and pound as well. Good wrestling. He's pretty much good all over the shop. He's well-rounded in terms of his finishes as well. He's also got Benson Henderson in his corner, who's a great mind to have as well, especially when it comes to timing strikes with takedowns too. I think that is just so valuable, and I think it can really shine in this fight. And granted, Amil, he does have like a higher strike accuracy, and both of them are durable as hell. And I honestly think it's really hard to just beat Amil in the first round. I think that Amil is going to take this, like, the first round on volume. But I think Delgado is going to, honestly, I think the gas tank's going to really come through in the second and the third round with the offensive wrestling mixed in with his good striking anyway. He's just got more tools there. It's similar to like Jack Hermansson and Gregory Rodrigues. I think Delgado, just with the more tools that he has, especially with his durability too, even more so, I really do think that output that he's going to show mixing in with the takedown offense, I think it's going to be too much for Amil late. I think he's going to be able to keep him guessing so much, and I think that he's going to take this 29-28 here. But I honestly think that this is such a fun fight. Definitely tune in for this one, because, I mean, it's either Delgado is going to just wrestle fuck the shit out of Amil, take him out late possibly, or Amil is going to finish him in the first round or really grind out a decision, just going really with his strength against the cage. But yeah, honestly, it could go either way, and neither of them have ever been taken out before. I wouldn't be surprised if one of them does, honestly, especially how hard they go in the first round. But yeah, firstly, I've got to say that this is getting my Fight of the Night award. I know it's pretty far down the card, but I think this, along with potentially the co-main event or the Royval fight, like, this is honestly going to be such a good underrated fight, because they're both high outputs, both of them durable as hell, both of them have got threats pretty much everywhere. It's going to be a super fun fight, but I've got to give it to Delgado in this one just. Moving down the card to Viviane Araújo versus Tracy Cortez. Now, honestly, I would prefer the odds to be closer here because Araújo's win against Karine Silva was very impressive. She showed a lot of heart in that fight and she showed a lot of nice grappling. But I still do have to give Tracy Cortez the win here because she's got the better boxing fundamentals. And Cortez, I mean, with the boxing, she also has good double leg takedowns. Tracy is like good offensively overall. She just needs to tighten up her defense and not allow Araújo to gain top control, which I think Araújo is going to be able to for maybe a round because she is just the better grappler overall. I think Araújo has just got that dog in her. She is more dominant across those 3 rounds when it comes to actual grappling. And if she's getting this fight down early, I honestly could see Araújo winning this fight, to be honest. But Tracy Cortez, when it comes to the striking pedigree, she is very good, whether it's on front foot or back foot when it comes to her actual boxing. And if she's tightened up that strike defense, strike defense realistically, and obviously the grappling defense, yeah, she's winning this fight. I've got Cortez here, 29-28. I think that she is going to take the first and third round. I think Araújo is going to come through strong in the second with the takedown offense. But yeah, I don't think the odds should be this far apart because Araújo, we saw what she did to Karine Silva. And yeah, I mean, I think that Karine Silva is better than Tracy Cortez, but I just do think stylistically with the boxing Cortez has, I think she can edge this 29-28 here. Moving down the card to Terence McKinney versus Vyacheslav Borshev. Now, this is great matchmaking. I love this from the UFC because we've got Terence McKinney, who's never been to a decision, and Borshev, who's never been KO'd before. So it's just really, really nice matchmaking within that because it gives us questions, and questions make great fights. And both of these guys really need a damn win here. They really, really do. And if this stays on the feet the whole entire time, I can see Borshev winning this fight, but I honestly just see McKinney really hunting the submission here. I think it's a very underrated part of his game. I don't think McKinney is going to be staying on the feet for that long if he's smart. I mean, he does have the power to knock out Borshev, don't get me wrong, but I mean, when it comes to the grappling pedigree, McKinney has got an opening here to seriously take this fight without damage, lower the risk, increase the reward, get out of there unscathed, and get back into a fight and get back in the win column. Honestly, that's what this fight needs to do. Like, for both of them, they need to win this, get out of there unscathed, and then go through to another fight, because that's what's going to keep them in the UFC at the end of the day. And I mean, McKinney, when we look at his offensive threat when it comes to takedowns, I think he can definitely get Borshev down, because he's taken down Sadikov before, and he's taken Drew Dober down before, and Borshev has been taken down by most of the opposition he's fought. I mean, buddy Mark Chikadze took him down 11 times in their fight. So yeah, Borshev, he is a great striker. Don't get me wrong, he is very good there, but yeah, the grappling is a hole there, and unless he's completely solidified that takedown defense, which from what we've seen, can't see it happening, to be honest. So look, I think it's really fun if it's on the feet, but I think it's a stupid thing for Terence McKinney to do to keep it there, because, I mean, both of them have very high outputs, but Terence McKinney is chinny as fuck. So, yeah, he seriously is not durable. I mean, he's been taken out badly recently as well, especially against Esteban Ribovics. So that's where I think he really needs to utilize this grappling here, and I think that he can. I think that he's going to be able to get this fight to the ground, either hunt a rear naked choke or possibly a D'Arce choke. Borshev, we know he is submittable. I mean, we saw that against Chase Hooper. So Terence McKinney, there's a path for victory here for you. You need to go through and get this to the ground and submit Borshev. I believe he's going to be able to do it in the first or the second round. Now, moving down the card to Jonata Diniz versus Alvin Hines. Now, Hines, he's coming in. He's on short notice. Now, you might not know a lot about him because he hasn't fought in the UFC before, but that's what we're here for. Alvin Hines, decent grappler, I will say. He's actually a decent grappler. It could be an issue against Jonata Diniz, I will say. Like, Alvin Hines is a guy that is strong. He's got a brawler-based style, and he's got a good gas tank. And I think that's where the grappling more so looks better for him when he is going there, because his gas tank is just very good. He trains at Albuquerque, so he's got that elevation there where he's training at. And I think he is pretty decent as a fighter, but thing I don't like is his strike defense. He kind of does stand a bit flat-footed a lot of the time, and he's not fast on his entries to get the takedowns. If he's getting Deniz down and manages to find that success there, then he could submit Junata Deniz, because Junata Deniz is the epitome of one-dimensional here. Junata, the guy, honestly, like, in terms of grappling, it's just not there. We know that, but I can't be going against Junata in this fight because his striking is just too clean. Alvin Hines has not fought anyone near the striking pedigree of Junata Deniz. Deniz, I think his takedown defense would have improved. He's fought a top 15 opposition before, and he has looked good in his UFC career overall, to be honest. I mean, and he improved his takedown defense against Carl Williams as well, which Carl Williams is actually good at getting takedowns, and Deniz has got the better strike accuracy here, and honestly, he even did well against Marcin Tybura up until the point he was on the ground and he got TKO'd. So I think Deniz, honestly, I think this is just too tough a pill for Alvin Hines to swallow. Alvin Hines needs to get Deniz down like straight up, because Junata Deniz will just pick him apart to the point where he is going to get the KO TKO finish here. I am very confident in that. It's just contrast in striking is just too much. You got a very credited kickboxer against Alvin Hines, who's just more of just a natural mixed martial artist. And yeah, credit to Hines if he can get it done, but Deniz, I think I'm pretty confident he's getting this one done. And now lastly on the card, we got Niko Price versus Jacoby Smith. Now, Jacoby Smith, this guy is minus 1,400 favorite, and I can't disagree with that, to be honest. The guy's undefeated. He's looked super dangerous. I mean, he's got really good fundamentals on the feet. He's extremely strong as well, especially when it comes to his takedown defensive threat. He is really good at running the pipe for single legs, and he has mean ground and pound as well. He is getting my fighter to watch award definitely in this card. He is someone that could really be pumping up those welterweight rankings, to be honest. He's got amazing power in the left hooks that he has, and he has a really nice right hand as well. He punished Preston Parsons when he fought him. I think he's just such a serious problem. And Niko Price, in comparison, Niko is like decent in terms of just like his overall, just like, I think it's just like his gamingness, really. He's just good at just trekking forward, just really just staying in the fire. I mean, if he can get his groove going, he's really good with his volume overall, but yeah, we're not clutching at straws here. Jacoby Smith he's going to knock Niko Price out. I'm very confident about that. I think honestly, Jacoby is just faster. He's stronger. He's more powerful. I think he's just going to be able to catch Niko Price in an exchange within the first to the second round, pop him down with a right hook, and then just ground and pound him out for the finish. Definitely keep an eye out for this dude. Now, I really hope you enjoyed this predictions and breakdown video, and I hope you go well on your picks for UFC 317 and enjoy the Carter International Fight Week. Definitely check out the video on the screen. I mean, if you want to see more MMA-based content, that is. And please like, comment, subscribe, and I will catch you in the next one.